Terry, take it away.
Hello, everybody. This is Biz Chicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today is Health and Wellness Day. This is where we talk about how to stay healthy so that we can eventually become wealthy. You know, if you have your health, you do have wealth. So today I'm here with my guest host, Miss Robin Shimizu, and she's going to be introducing her guest, Miss Lynnis Woods-Mullen. But before we do that, I want to say hi to my partner, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva, who's operating all that wonderfulness in the background.
Good
So
morning.
I want to thank her for that, for getting us out to Facebook and to YouTube. Also, I want to welcome you to the show. I want you to sit back, relax, hydrate, and enjoy your day with us, talking about your health and your wellness. How you doing, Robin?
I'm doing just fine, thank you, Terry.
Good.
Hello, Lynnis and Francine.
Hello.
Happy
morning.
post-Thanksgiving. Wasn't it a great week?
It was wonderful.
Nice and rainy and all that good stuff. It was wonderful. Well, today I have the pleasure of introducing Lynnis Woods-Mullen. She's been with us many times in the past. Just want to introduce her a little bit. She's a holistic living and wellness coach for women 40 and over and beyond. And she has a lot of words of wisdom. She's very well trained and very knowledgeable. And Lynnis is going to talk to us today about staying vibrant during the holidays.
Oh,
Perfect topic for us to get into post-Thanksgiving and coming up to Christmas. So take it away, Lynnis. Thank you so much for being on the show with us today.
Oh, absolutely. This is something that I've been doing probably since about, about 7 or 8 years. I've been doing these Distress the Mess holiday vibrancy kits, because what happens a lot of times during the holidays, there are so many things that are expected of us as women. We, continue to play all those different roles with the added responsibility of, making everybody's holiday season kind of flow with the gifts and the cooking and the decorations and the entertaining and the attending of other functions and everything else. And after a while, our vibrancy begins to get stamped out. And I don't know if you've noticed or not, but a lot of times by the end of January, beginning of February, people get sick. And they say it's flu season. Flu season now starts, it almost seems like it's year-round now these days. But a lot of people get sick after the holidays, and there's only one reason why, and that's because their immune system has been compromised, because they haven't done the things they need to do preventatively to still stay vibrant, stay fit, and also to not let themselves get so worn out that they get sick. Good example, my daughter was just here for Thanksgiving. She's 34 years old, so she's grown. But I could tell by the end of that holiday that by the time she got back to D.C., she was probably going to get sick. And I tried to tell her, because I could see some things that she was doing, and I'll share with you what she was doing in a minute. But sure enough, she got back into D.C. Tuesday morning at 5:30, had a very important meeting with her VPs at like 8:30. And you know what? She was totally hoarse. Her voice was gone. And that was because of a few things. She didn't get enough rest at all. She was up with her cousins every single night. She's not a big drinker, but she did drink some alcohol, celebrating with her cousins. When she ate, she, partook in all the great things that we serve during the holidays, including sweets, and large portions. And my daughter normally is a workout thing. She runs. She used to run. She was on a track scholarship in college, so she really does work out. She did not do any of the things she normally does, in terms of running or any of that at all. And I know she was under a little bit of stress because she was still working during part of her holiday. She had brought her laptop with her, and there was some things that happened, and she got totally stressed out in terms of the time zones and trying to get things done. And I did say, I said, well, I thought you were going to take this week off. She said, I did. I just wanted to check. And of course, when you just checked, then there you go. She didn't have to bring her business laptop with her, but she did. So We've got stress, overeating, no exercise, not sleeping correctly, all these different things, alcohol, eating a lot of sugar. All those things add up to compromise the immune system. Then she gets on a plane full of all those lovely germs, and whatever was going on with her body went into full swing, so that by the time she got off that plane, she had no voice, body aches, stuffed up nose, temperature. And of course, she had to go to work. And I tried to get her to take off, but she wouldn't because she had this presentation. So she said she showed up to do the presentation. No one could really hear her. And finally, her boss's boss was like, Imani, we can do this later. Go home, go to bed. We don't want you to affect everybody, but mostly we're concerned about your health. So she calls me, she says, Mom, you were so right. I should have just let them know that I was getting sick before I left, blah, blah, blah. So now she's at home with all of my long list of things to get on her way home. And her voice is back because of things that I told her. But this could have been prevented if she had done a few key preventative things. And I'll tell you what those are. First of all, I know it's the holidays and you want to have fun and everything else, but number one, so that you can continue to have fun during the holidays, but also have fun after the holidays, you've got to make your self-care number one. You cannot fudge on that. You have to set aside the time that's necessary to take good care of you. Another thing is that you want to make sure that you don't stop doing some of the physical things that you're doing. Maybe you work out an hour a day. So maybe this time you only do it for 15, 20 minutes, but you still want to do it. If you are a person who is a walker and you're used to walking 4 days a week and holidays are here and you don't feel like you have time to walk, well, if you happen to be old-fashioned like some people and like the holiday hustle and bustle, you'll be out there in the malls. Increase your time in the malls and get your steps in that way. Absolutely. If you can't get your steps in that way, then get your steps in around the neighborhood. I know it's cold outside. It may be precipitation, but at some point that lets up. Plus, all of us have snowshoes, umbrellas, whatever, because we go from the house to the car. They ain't going to hurt you. Go ahead and do that one walk around the block, whatever, so that you are still doing your movement thing. Another thing, I cannot stress this enough. I'm not saying do this on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve or on New Year's Eve or Turkey Day or whatever, but I am saying during the holiday season, exercise portion control. Instead of piling your plates up, with a big old plate, get a little tiny plate, okay? And put a little bit of your favorite things. Eat mindfully and slowly so you can enjoy and savor the flavor and just the holiday season, but you don't have to necessarily include huge portions for enjoyment because it's going to catch up with you. And I'm not talking so much about the weight gain, but very rarely do you go to these holiday things and you're eating all vegan or you're eating all healthy and everything. There's going to be some fun things to eat. The cookies, Rice Krispie treats, fudge brownies, pound cake, fruit cake, all that stuff. So that's fine. Go ahead and eat those things. But take a slither of each little thing. You don't have to do a whole huge slice, put it on the plate. You don't have to do all of that. Another thing, before you go to these holiday parties, drink plenty of water. If you know you're going to be going to an office party that starts at 4 o'clock, then during the day, hydrate, just like you said earlier. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Drink plenty of water, okay? And the reason why I'm saying that is, first of all, water helps to keep you from getting too hungry. It helps with cravings. It also helps to flush out the toxins. And it also helps when it comes to that whole alcohol bit. Alcohol will dehydrate you. And when your body is dehydrated, your immune system is compromised, and the chances of you getting sick increases because of the dehydration. So it's not so much that I'm anti-alcohol. I drink one glass of wine, red wine. I never finish the glass because I pass out. But sometimes I do it like at night, a glass of red wine. And that's fine. But the whole idea, though, is to make sure you're drinking enough water during the day because the alcohol dehydrates you. And then you also have that sugar component because alcohol breaks down to sugar. And the sugar also is like toxic to your immune system. All of the fun desserts and things that you're eating, all the carbs that you might be eating, mashed potatoes, grandma's mashed potatoes, the dressing, all that stuff, it tastes great, but it's carbs. And it's carbs that don't have a lot of nutritive value, and it breaks down to sugar. And for those of you who are borderline diabetic or diabetic, you really have to watch that. It's not just the sweets, it's the other carbs too. White rice. I never serve white rice. I always serve brown rice. And you may want to consider doing that, because white rice for your elder guest and for your guests that might be borderline diabetic, and you know what family members have what, be considerate. Even though that's their favorite thing, try doing something new and cook a little differently. Cook brown rice. And I just got through doing this. I told the ladies right before we came on, I got the cooking bug, and I was cooking for the rest of the week, so I was making some lentils and greens and making some spaghetti squash and fresh tomato sauce. And I was thinking, you know what? There's nothing wrong with adding healthy things to your holiday meals. When we had our Thanksgiving, what we decided to do was to add, everybody brought a healthy dish and then their favorite, junk dish, whatever. And it was wonderful. And you know what got eaten the most? The vegetarian healthy dishes, because everybody enjoyed them, and not all of them were vegan. Some of them, but none was cooked with meat, and minimal sugar and salt and things like that. Like, for instance, my greens, which is a very popular thing for a lot of people to have during the holidays. I don't use any meat for my greens. I do use butter, 100% butter, and I use chicken broth, and that's it. And then I take the stalks, and I cut up the stalks real fine, and I create a roux with the onions and the garlic and the stems and the chicken broth, and I let that simmer for a while, and then I add water to that, and I let that be the base to season my greens, and I don't use any meat. Now, there's nothing wrong with using meat, but I try to minimize the amount of meat, because quite frankly, especially during the holidays, you might be eating the ham, which has a lot of salt and fat, and the roast beef and all that, and that's fine if that's your preference. But when you have an opportunity to not put meat in a meal, don't put it in the meal, and find another way to still make it tasty. And one way to still give it that same texture that maybe meat was involved but it wasn't, is using chicken broth and butter, because it kind of gives it that texture, like you might have cooked it with those neck bones or, whatever it is you like. The other thing about staying vibrant, I think it's really important, while we are busy giving to everyone else, that we give to ourselves. You guys pick a time when you go and buy yourself a gift. And I'm not necessarily talking about spending a whole lot of money. And I'm not necessarily talking about buying something that you normally would buy yourself. I mean about giving yourself the gift of silence. Maybe the gift of meditation. Maybe there's a book, a spiritually renewed, oriented book that you've always wanted to get, or that you've been wanting to buy that you haven't gotten. Maybe you want to spend some time with a dear friend that you've only talked to over Messenger, but you haven't seen in person. Maybe there's a note to someone that you want to write to let them know how much you appreciate them. Or maybe you want to give the gift of your time. And I know it seems crazy, but during the holiday season, volunteering is one of the most fulfilling things that you will ever feel, especially now with so many people who have lost their homes and lost loved ones. 2018 has been a great year for me personally, but it's been a really tough year for our country in terms of all the loss when it comes to natural disasters. And there's nothing more fulfilling than spending that little time, even if it's an hour. It gives you a sense of giving. It gives you a sense of being grateful for what you do have. And gratefulness and thankfulness is a huge piece of the holiday season. And that's one way to usher it into your life so that you can continue doing all the things that you normally do.
Lynnis, this is beautiful. I really like the idea of giving your time. Just thinking about others. Mm-hmm. It really is a time to be grateful and to be a help. Would you going to say something, Rob?
No.
Jumped in here. I also like the fact that you cook your greens without meat. Because I'm always looking for a way to reduce my exposure to things that could trigger other ailments. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes. I can tell when I've had too much sugar. Can you tell
yes.
that, Robin?
Yes.
Like, it actually, I can feel it in my joints. It's like, okay, you know what?
And you know what? I just sent out a newsletter to all my following about the turkey bloat blues. Those loaded overwhelmed feeling that you feel after Thanksgiving, but yet you don't have time to be feeling that because, the season has started. I kind of like the fact that the Thanksgiving fell a little bit earlier because you had a little bit of time for it not to be December. But the reality is the turkey bloat blues is all about feeling bluesy and bloated in your mind, body, and spirit. And in this, we gave some tips on what you can do to get rid of the turkey bloat blues. And if you'd like, I'll give you the link to that so you could see it. I can post it later on once this uploads or whatever in the comments, so you can take a look at what the turkey bloat blues is all about. But we really do get that, and I think that we need to have a combination of addressing the needs of our mind, our body, and our spirit. And I tried to include all of those. Let me say something about the mind. We have more things on our mind during the holidays within a short period of time than normal, because once again, we're busy doing things that we normally don't do until that time of the year. And you might start skipping during the course of the day. So in terms of remembering things, and of course you want to write everything down as much as possible, but you might want to start with using maybe some of these foods that will help you with your memory. And I also will post in the comments a blog I wrote just the other day about brain fog and the foods that you can eat. And I'll give you one tip right now. Blueberries are excellent. It's an excellent antioxidant for your immune system that can get compromised during this time of year. But it also is very good for the brain. So if you can start your day with a green smoothie, because you need that green because of all the antioxidants and minerals that are in the green. You need the fresh green. And you need the blueberries because it stimulates the brain and it's good for brain health. And you can, put that together real quick, maybe with just a little tad bit of banana, not a lot because that's so high in sugar, but banana does have potassium and magnesium that's really good for your brain. And flaxseed. You got to add the flaxseed because of the omega-3. The omega-3 is that good fat that the brain is made of. Okay, and maybe a little bit of almond milk because the almond milk has calcium and vitamin D, and as we get older, especially women, we need that calcium and vitamin D because of our bone health. So you put all that in there, turn it on, drink it, and it's a great way to start the day before you get out there in the cold doing shopping. So that's a little hint there, and it will keep you fresh throughout the day.
Lynnis, do you use a protein powder of sorts to augment your green drink in the mornings, or?
Yes. Sometimes I do. In fact, it's interesting that you should mention that because a manufacturer just contacted me to advertise in my magazine, Wellness Woman 40 and Beyond, and we're going to be giving away some of these products. So I will definitely give you the link to be able to sign up for the Wellness Woman so you can possibly qualify to get this green powder. But yes, green powder is excellent because if it's well done, if it's well manufactured, because it takes out of it all of the good stuff that we need, the minerals and the fiber and everything else that sometimes we don't get when we overcook our vegetables. And let me say one thing about cooking the greens. I use minimal amount of water and I use a little bit of chicken broth because there's a lot of water in greens already. And many times people overcook their greens. And unless they drink the pot liquor, they're not going to get the benefit of all, they'll get the fiber, but they won't get the benefit of all the nutrients in the greens because it's all been cooked out. So I only cook my greens for maybe 20 minutes. They're not overcooked. They're not crunchy, but they're just not overcooked. But I also use some of that pot liquor to cook my lentils so that I'm not losing that benefit. And of course, you can always drink it. I never have, but I know some people who do. Sometimes the people save the pot liquor for when they make their turkey soup. And let me say something about that. Most of us have some kind of turkey left over, hopefully, at this point, and you're wondering what to do with it. You're making turkey sandwiches and all that. That's great. But you should take this opportunity to take the bones from the turkey and make a good bone broth, which is so good for your immune system and will carry you throughout the holidays. You will not get sick. And just Google bone broth, and it will show you some recipes on how to cook it and how to use the bones. And if you don't have any bones, maybe save the bones for Christmas because you're going to still need to protect your immune system as we go into the beginning of the holidays, or the beginning of the 2019.
Wow, that's a great tip about the bone
Yes.
broth. I keep forgetting about that, and I don't know if people really know what the term pot liquor means.
Well, you know, bone broth, oh my God. It is, I had a woman on my show once a couple years ago. Her name is Dr. Terry Walls, and she has done an extreme amount of research on MS. In fact, she's the MS guru. She's been on all kinds of shows. I was so honored that she was on my show. And she talked about the bone broth and how it helped her because she has MS. And without getting too technical, in the bone broth is so much medicinal benefits. And you can buy bone broth at the store or you can make it. And in my interview with her, she talks about how to make it. If I can find that interview, I will post that as well. That was an excellent interview because this lady is a world-renowned physician, and people pay her hundreds of thousands of dollars to consult on MS because she's become such an expert in MS based upon her own experience. And it was the bone broth that slowed her symptoms down significantly to the point where she can still function and do things. And she's not in a wheelchair. She uses a cane sometimes, but thankfully she would be in a wheelchair by now. And she's a little bit older than me. I think she's like 63, something like that. But she was diagnosed, maybe 20-something years ago. And, you know, sometimes the MS can be very progressive. It's all about the lifestyle choices that you make, which is true in maintaining any of our health. It's all about the lifestyle that you choose. And that lifestyle, within that, should be incorporated things that are going to be proactive to keep you well, but also things that you know are going to keep at bay some of the things that you might be genetically predisposed to have, like obesity, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, COPD, diabetes. These are things that could be in your DNA, but you don't have to fall victim to it. There are things you can do with your lifestyle to keep from having those things interfere in your life in such a way where the quality of your life is compromised.
You know what I liked about your list, and you started out with, you have to start out with self-care. And for us to be able to take care of others and to take care of our businesses and things like that, it's important that we don't forget, number one, is to take care of our own health and our own responsibility. It's just being aware every day, making good choices. And,
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So I really like that. And I also like the portion control and eating mindfully. And that to me has been the key to my, I've lost a lot of weight recently and I've been able to keep it off. And mostly it's because I'm just eating so much smaller portions and I get satisfied with less. And it's really kind of a habit that we get into when we overeat. We think we got to clean up our plates. We think we got to take a piece of the pie rather than a sliver of the pie just to taste it. And it is just kind of a shift in the way you look at food and the way you eat and eat more slowly.
Absolutely. I have two programs. One is a one-on-one coaching program for holistic weight release, and another one is called Total Wellness Transformation. And we use the art of behavior modification in terms of the things that we tell ourselves around our eating. Mm-hmm. And we use meditation, subliminal messaging, of course, menu planning, a lot of different things that address the mind, body, and spirit, and not just the idea of dropping calories, because you're absolutely right. It's little incremental things that will get you to where you want to be. Those things that tell you that you can lose weight in 30 days and things like that, you probably will. But if you haven't changed your lifestyle to accommodate that, that weight will come back and then some. I can tell you with one client that I worked with, we were so preoccupied with her lifestyle change, mindfully eating, meditating, using affirmations, tapping, and things like that, that one day she told me this story. So she calls me, she's all excited. She said she took her daughter to work, and her daughter gets in the car and takes one look at her and is really upset because she says, "You've got on my jeans." And she says, "No, I don't. I can't wear jeans. I can't wear this your size." She says, "Mom, those are my jeans." She said they both have the same jeans. And she knew she was wrong. They're the same jeans. So she takes her to school. They argue all the way to drop her off. She gets home, and she says, "Well, let me just check." So she goes and looks in her closet, and there are her jeans. She said, "Oh, that's impossible," because those jeans were a size 16. Her daughter wears a size 10. She went down that many sizes in less than 2 months because of all the different things that we do in this program. And it's all a lifestyle change. And the other thing is, it's really not about releasing the or losing weight. It's about releasing it so that it doesn't come back. And it's also within that, the subscript within that, it's about reducing the inches. You know, if you start working out and lifting weights, which I suggest everybody pick up that skill during the holidays, it's so good for releasing stress. Just 5 minutes of weights, it's so good for releasing stress. But it's as you begin to work out in that way, you might even not see the scale drop, but yet you're smaller because you're getting firmer and you are losing some of the fat that's there. And you can't always, but you're building muscle. And muscle does gain weight. And no, you will not look like women who are bodybuilders. There are certain ways, people who look like that, there are diets that they use and certain moves and weight lifting techniques that they use to get that way. The kinds of things I ask women to do over 40 is not going to bulk you up like that. Now, if you want to be bulked up like that, I can certainly recommend people who are very good in working with women over 40 to get that way, because you can. But if you just are doing it for bone health and for definition and maybe even for energy to get the endorphins going, you won't necessarily be like this at the end of your session. It's not going to happen. But you will be firmer, and you will like the way you look, and you will have another way of releasing that stress that happens during the holidays.
So if someone wanted to get more active in terms of lifting weights, because I was thinking, you know, on this program, we've never gone into any kind of physical activity discussion or conversation. I'm wondering.
Well, okay, here we go. Next week I'll be on.
Right.
And I will take you through my routine that I do every morning with the weights and the yoga. I guess I could take you on a walk with me too, but I won't take it that far. But I think we want to start small in increments. And in my my one-on-one coaching and also in the Total Wellness Transformation, I have a yoga plan for weight release, and I have a walking plan for weight release. And there's a certain way that you can do these things over time that will give you big results. But the whole idea is you start small. You know, you don't start like off right away going for it. Yeah, you say, okay, I'm going to do an hour a day, every day. And, you know, no, because more than likely you're going to stop. Like, for instance, my yoga routine that I suggest, and it's lower impact for people who haven't worked out for a while, takes maybe 20 minutes. And you start off doing it every other day. And then the next week after that, or 2 weeks after that, you do it every other day, and one day you do it with the weights. And then eventually, by the time you get to the end of the 3-month cycle, you're doing it every day, and you're, except for, you know, the 2 days a week where you're going to rest, because you have to give yourself an opportunity to rest, your body to rest, because that also, rest helps to build muscles. But the whole idea is to start in small increments, and to do it smart. You know, when you're walking, you want to do interval walking, where you walk real fast for a while, and then you walk at a steadier pace, and you pick up the speed a little bit, that kind of thing. All those kinds of techniques can give you the results you want that will be lasting results, and it's not going to wear you out. In fact, you're going to feel better, and over time you'll start looking forward to it. Yeah, at first you're like, oh, I don't want to do that. I mean, just yesterday I didn't want to do it. So I put on my favorite, I don't want to do it music. You know, kind of, okay, let's do it. You know, next thing you know, you're doing it. You do the things you need to do to psych yourself out. I mean, we talk about that in my program as well.
I like that, but I don't want to do it music.
I got about 10 playlists like that. For working, for cooking, for working out, talking to my husband.
That is inspirational. Oh my goodness.
Because I don't want to do a playlist.
Yes, yes.
And we should do a show as it gets closer to the new year, how to not make New Year's resolutions.
Oh my gosh, I could talk forever about that.
Yeah, and I think that would be an interesting show as well, is to remind people that we're not making New Year's resolutions. We're just going to start taking better care and making good choices and making better habits, and not, you know, set these goals up so that we fail in, you know, February. But
I believe in setting intents. I believe in setting intents. I mean, behind me are my intents. You know, these are the things I'm believing in God for. These are the things that I work towards every single day. I'm doing something towards it every single day. And I guess they could have been resolutions, but I haven't done resolutions in years.
Yeah.
Because I always fail, and I hate failure. So the intents, though, is a little bit more spiritual. It takes the pressure off. It reminds me that I'm not doing this by myself, that God is guiding me. And many times my intents come based upon what comes up when I'm meditating, being quiet, asking for direction. And then that direction comes, and then I set that intent. So this right here were intents that were set last year, and I'm just about done all of them. So brand new boards will be going up. My husband sometimes comes in and looks at my walls. He says, you know, it's really scary what's going on in your mind. You know, it's all this stuff. But I'm a visual person, and I have to put it, you know.
Well, I find that if it's not in front of me, I forget about it. I really do. I write it down. I'm sincere. I'm committed, quote unquote. But then, out of sight, out of mind. Isn't that what the French say? Long de you, long de que. Out of sight, out of mind. You know, it's just gone. So I am really inspired by your wall. And I'm looking at it. Oh, I have closet space like that. I could actually make that happen. Because nothing seems to stick to my walls because of the finish on it.
Yeah, yeah. I use thumbtacks too, and right next, I don't know if you can't see it, but right next to me is my like really important vocal points. The names of my children, my husband, and some things I'm believing in God for, my scriptures, all that stuff I can see. But one reason why I have it back there is I get up because sitting is really a serious issue in our country right now. We're way too sedentary, and I get up and go and look and see what it is, and I stand before it, and that kind of thing gets me standing and stuff. Oh, I do have one more tip, though, for the holidays, to help you get fit during the holidays. You know how we're sitting in front of our computers doing online shopping, and many of us are doing our CADs or whatever. Well, I'll bring it with me next week, but I have a big old ball, and usually, and the only reason I'm not sitting on it right now is because it's a little bit low for you to see me. I'll look like this. But anyway, I sit on my ball whenever I want to watch TV, whenever I'm doing my shopping, whenever I'm working, at least a couple hours a day. That ball helps with your core, with your posture, with your thigh muscles, with your leg muscles, because all of those are engaged to keep you on the ball so you're not going like this. And at first it might,
I am laughing because I have two of those big balls in my bedroom that are sitting on.
There you go. We just decided how you're going to be using that ball.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Because I'm on the air every morning, every week morning, I could be sitting on the ball. Mm-hmm. Shut up, guys. Thank you.
I'm just saying.
It's about
I was thinking about getting a ball like that from my mom. You know, for her to just sit on every once in a while, and she watches television quite a bit.
That's right, and you're kind of rolling around a little bit, but your muscles, you're not going to roll around and let it fall. Your muscles are going to automatically want to do what's necessary to keep you from falling. It's an instinct. You know, and then next thing you know, it locks in your butt, your stomach, your shoulders, your posture. All of that is engaged, but not in a way where you're wearing yourself out. Now, if you're not used to it, after about an hour or so, it's going to bother you. So I say, start out for 30 minutes sitting on the ball, an hour. Make it a goal to be able to sit through a whole movie. Or if you're binge watching, as long as you can. If you're doing the Netflix thing, just sit on that ball. And you're getting a workout.
I like that because then you don't feel guilty if you're binge watching something and you're trying to catch up. You know, that I like that because you're
sit on the ball and drink your blueberry smoothie.
Yeah.
You see, that is a plan. I'm just like, okay, now I can allege that I'm
during the ball, sitting on the ball, keep hydrating with your lemon water instead of snacking on the popcorn or whatever, like I did last night. You know what? I was watching something and I was in bed and I was eating the popcorn. I hadn't eaten the popcorn in a long time. And usually, there's nothing wrong with popcorn, but I ate too much of it because I felt so, I could feel the brain fog coming in. I could feel it. And popcorn's a good fiber, but you have to be careful to put with it in terms of salt or butter, whatever. But it's also a corn. And corn can sometimes not be the greatest for you. So, again, I should have used moderation. I mean, the bowl was like this. I was just feeling it, just munching, watching one of those Hallmark holiday movies or whatever. And after about an hour and a half, I was like, oh, it's gross. That's so good. So, again, portion control, and even in healthy things. Some things can be very healthy for you, but I believe that all things in moderation, all things in moderation, bad and good. You just want to be careful.
Yeah. Very good. Well, this was very, very good, Lynnis. Thank you so much for your I guess there were about 10 tips that you gave us.
Oh, it's really? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Gail says, she says, my bike is in front of the TV. Okay. Oh, and then Quincy said, give me one of those balls. Okay. She said, get on the ball.
Get on the ball.
What I really like about what you said today, Lynnis, was that 20 minutes. I can do 20 minutes. You understand what I'm saying? Let's start small and then let it grow. But yeah, I think we can all do 20 minutes of something because we committed to read for 20 minutes. We committed to, so why not combine reading, hydrating, and sitting on the ball or some sort of exercise? Because if you're listening to a book, you can do this. You know what I'm saying?
You absolutely can. You absolutely can. You absolutely can. You can do this, you can do this, you can do this. There's so many things that you can do. You can do squats. You can stand against the wall, slide down and hold it for a while. There's so many things.
I have so forgotten about that.
But they make a difference. Oh, yeah. It makes a difference.
Did you hear me? I have so forgotten about that, standing against the wall and doing that squat. Okay, we need a refresher.
Yep, they can definitely do those things.
Well, I'm looking forward to next week. That'll be fun to get some kind of routine down for the morning.
Yeah, I was thinking to myself, there's one part that's on the floor. I don't know how we can get that, but I guess we'll figure it out. Or maybe, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how we can figure it all out. I might have to do a little modified or something. Or maybe I can use stick figures and show you the other part. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Even if you just walk us through it, talk us through it and tell us how to do it.
Okay. Yeah. We'll do that.
Great.
Or show your iPad with you on a short video or something.
No, not happening.
How about a link to you?
That would be, well, you know what? That's interesting that you should say that. Because I am relaunching my low-impact Praise Dance Fitness DVD. It's ready right now and on my site for anybody that wants to order it. It's a fun DVD that shows you some moves that you can do while, also, praising God and getting more into that spiritual fulfillment place. It combines dance movements, yoga movements, I can show you some across the floor things. And at the end, I show you a routine that you can do with you and your friends or whatever. It's a lot of fun. It's only $18. So if you're interested, just go to my website. My website is www.praiseworks.biz or www.wellnesswoman40.com. Either one of those, you can go and order the DVD.
Why don't we put that up in the chat?
If you
in the comments.
Yes, if you would be so kind.
Yes, I will do that.
Okay, great. And I promise the blog link, the newsletter link, and my subscription link, and the magazine's free. So I will go back afterwards and put those in there for you for anybody.
Now, is there any excuse for us not to subscribe to this magazine? She just said
it's free. Really, there's no reason why. And I need to get my subscriptions up because I want to be able to quote back to the advertisers. So please, we get about 200,000 views an issue, and my goal is to get 1 million views. So I have a little ways to go. So I would really appreciate the Biz Chicks support and going on and subscribing.
We will encourage everybody to go on, subscribe to the magazine, so make sure you put the link in there. Okay. And then share the link out with our friends because we all need to be healthier and wealthier.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And buy the DVD. I am shamelessly promoting because my business coach says I don't do enough of it.
I understand.
She's trying to work with me on that. You know, she says, Lynnis, what? I don't get it. You doing all this for free? What's going on here? Are you independently wealthy? No. I would say not. My husband would definitely say no.
And the other thing is, guys, it's the holiday season. One of the things you want to do is make sure that you support one another during this time. We want to remind everybody that First Mondays is coming up. Mm-hmm. And we'd like you to join us if you're in the Sacramento area for First Mondays at Seasons 52 this coming Monday. Mm-hmm. And also, we want you to support one another in the marketplace. We all have things that we are providing, that we're bringing to you and giving you an opportunity to share and be a part of. So go and look at one another's sites and support one another. With that, I want to thank you. I want to thank you, Robin, for just bringing us such great guests. Lynnis, I want to thank you. Is there something you want to share before we go?
Well, thank you again for the opportunity, and thank you, Robin, for remembering me. I guess what I want to share is for those of you who will be on Facebook this afternoon at 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time or 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, my brand new show that I'm producing called Living Well Women, Holistic Living for Sisters will be on live on Facebook. And if you don't already belong to my group on Facebook, Wellness Woman 40 and Beyond, belong to that group, and you'll be able to see it live. I'll be posting it everywhere. I'll post it on BizChicks, but I'd love for you to take a look. Today, we're going to be talking about I'm not fat, I'm just big-boned.
Okay. That sounds familiar. Okay. Yeah. Help us, Father. Okay. So, guys, make sure that you join Lynnis's group. I'm sure you're going to, once we get to the magazine, or when we get to your Facebook page, we'll be directed to all of that information.
Yes, I will. And I'll put that information down there, too, so they can see it. And we also have a YouTube channel for Living Well Women as well. I have two other co-hosts, Dr. Drayvon James and also Keisha Dixon. There's the three of us, and we just talk about a lot of things that would be of interest to women of color, but overall of interest to women in general, because we've gotten a lot of feedback from women that aren't of color. So a lot of different topics we talk about, and we have fun. We have fun. So, you know, tune in.
You guys join the conversation over there. I want to remind you that we are here every weekday at 8 o'clock a.m. Pacific time, and we would love for you to join the conversation. I want to give a shout out to Lakeisha and Gail and Janice and some of the other ladies who have joined the conversation this morning. I'm scrolling back through here. I don't want to miss anybody. Jill and those of you who are watching on the replay. We want to remind you that BizChicks book is out. Dick and Jane Build a Business. You can get that over on Amazon. Also, we want to thank you for being so kind as to share your time with us. And we want you to know that we appreciate you because you could have been anywhere doing whatever. So we thank you that you took the time out to join us today. Thank you again, Robin and Lynnis. And I want to remind everybody, don't forget to go to the front of your own line. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.